Hi, everybody. This is Deb Prue from the Worldwide Metaphysical Tribe, and I'm here at Tribe Central having a little chat with Tara McCallam. Tara is presenting this year on Friday afternoon, and Tara does something called the Muse method, and I asked her to speak because she is a practitioner like no other. She does something that I have never seen before, and I'll confess I'm her client because it works so well and it works so quickly. The results are there for you to see right away. So I'd like to have you just learn a little bit about the Muse method and then definitely come to her talk. And so, Tara, welcome.
Thank you so much. And it's been a lot of fun having you as a client, watching the results that happen for you. And I do want to go into the fact that that's one of the biggest things about why I started the Muse method and why I do what I do, because I was really wanting results for my own life and also wanting greater results for the life of the clients that I've worked with. And I've done different modalities throughout and found that it wasn't creating the results that I was wanting. I was having people come back with problems, the same problems over and over again, or they weren't moving quick enough. And also inside of me, there was the muse, that voice inside that kept saying there's a different way. And there were times when I was using a different modality that I felt like the pressure inside of me to do something, to say something different, but it didn't fit in with that modality. And so when I finally surrendered to doing it my own way, a different way, I found that it just completely blossomed everything and expanded. And I was able to really hear better what was going on with my clients and also create results better, which makes everybody so much happier. So, right? I think sometimes we get stuck in the hows in life. Like, how does this work? How does that? And yet, really, what we're all looking for is not the how. We're actually looking for the results, the change, the new life, the greater ease, the greater joy, all the connections that we're looking for, the greater affluence, whatever it is. And so I wanted to share about what the Muse method is. You obviously know, but I really want to go before that and say what the Muse is, because that's the more important thing. And the Muse is the voice, that sensation or that emotion inside of you that has been with you since day one, and it's your guiding force. The reason why I don't say spirit or soul voice is because it's not connected to a religion or spirituality. It's your unique voice. It does have a feminine attribute to it. And I don't mean it's female or male. I mean that it has an energy of softness, of invitation, of beckoning forward. And so if you find that I say she, it doesn't mean that it's for just a woman. It means that it's that feminine, wily voice that is constantly beckoning you towards blossoming and having a greater life, a life that is easier and more receiving than you've ever had before. So when we talk about like feminine and male, there's different attributes that go with it. A lot of femininity is actually about receiving. And so this method actually brings you into greater receiving too. So if you're somebody out there that says like, I'm an amazing giver, I don't receive so well, you don't have to try to receive. It's amazing because you just start to open and you start to see how the entire universe would like to conspire for your greatness and for you to have more in your life that actually aligns with you, right? Because some of us can have more in our life and find it doesn't actually contribute. And so the muse is constantly about what will actually contribute to your happiness, to you, to your being, how you came here to be, and to having more. So that's the muse, which is really fun to connect to in different people. It has different vibrations, different voices, different purposes, obviously. And it shows up differently. Sometimes it shows up through pain, and we go underneath that pain in order to hear what it's actually saying. And one of the parts of the method is putting hands on, because the muse tends to be more in our body than our brain. Our brain is so much about replication and protection. It repeats what you see around you, and it also really wants us to be protected, which is not always in our best interest, right? Sometimes relationships or business endeavors are scary, and yet our muse knows if we go in this direction, it will create more, and it will actually create a safer life. But if we listen to our brain, we live a really constricted, protected life. And so all the way throughout our body, this muse is speaking to us. A lot of times it's in sensations and emotions. And so that's why we put our hands on. Now, I find that a lot of clients have a lot right here, right? It's in the lung area, the heart area. It can feel like anxiety. It can feel like stuck breathing. And so we put our hand on in order to let the muse know we're here to listen. You know, the other place is a lot of times in the stomach. And so we put our hands on there. Now, is it always? No. So this is where having a practitioner like myself really helps, because I can hear where your muse is at and help you to embrace her and give her space to have her voice heard. So, and then the other place is we close our eyes so we get past the brain, and we use our breath to just move deeper and deeper into the body so that we can start to hear, and also open up so that we can surrender to that space of greater receiving. And then the fun begins. And so you've mentioned to me a couple things that you really like, is like there's a sense of fun, like the results can come faster if you have some fun with it. And then also bring in the sense of curiosity and wonder. Those are two really powerful states of being that will allow the muse to create. And because sometimes they can come upside down and sideways, some of the results. And so if you have fun and sit and wonder, like, what is this actually creating for me? It gives us the ability to see the way that the muse sees, and then not to suffer so deeply. And then you move in and you allow it to create for you in greater ways. But as a practitioner, go ahead. Sorry, Deb, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to add, a simplified version is, the old story of the guy who comes home from work and kicks the dog. Well, the dog didn't do anything wrong. It was his boss who yelled at him. And it's a very simplified version. So, what the Muse method to me does is it goes 10 layers deeper than that to get to the purest voice of the Muse. Because what to me, what this is about is you came here with all these hopes, dreams, plans, exciting adventures to have, and then you got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of going through all that stuck stuff, let's just get down to the business of why we're here and let's start doing that.
Yeah, and I love that you bring that up, because a lot of people stay in the stuck stuff, and I feel like that's kind of what I was doing a little bit of before. They stay in the stuck stuff, or the fixing and the healing. Like one of the big words is like, I'm here to heal. Well, we're not here to heal, because a lot of the things that we think we're healing for is like the dirt that surrounds the seed that needs to grow. So we're actually here for wholeness, for fulfillment, for creation. And so if you go to the fact that these other things actually aid creation, sometimes we need pressure, right, in order to burst forth. The seed doesn't get mad at the dirt for holding it down. It gives it gratitude, right? Or the butterfly doesn't get mad at the cocoon for giving it the pressure that it needed in order to burst forth into being a butterfly. And so we don't get into the healing of, we utilize all the dirt, the manure. I mean, we got shit in our lives, if we want to be real, right? We have it. And so how is the muse going to utilize all of that? And what is the purpose? What is the creation? Because we really do put our perspective too often on the dirt or the crap or whatever it is, and not on what is actually asking to be created, what is coming out to blossom. And when we put our perspective and our sights on that and ask the questions, then all of a sudden that does grow, that does pop through the dirt, it does bloom, because that's what we're all about, is not shutting that off either. It's getting into the blooming. And the other piece I just wanted to say really quick is I use a lot of questions, because questions create relationships. They also move us from a place of contraction, from a place of conclusion, a place of stuckness, into possibilities. And it's amazing what happens when not just I start to use questions in the sessions, but you start to use questions, because when you start to use questions, you start to trust yourself and trust that voice inside that's guiding you. And then you also start to use it outside of you and create greater relationships with the universe at large, other people, and so on. And I'm going to specify, I use questions for expansion, not in the way that a lot of people use questions in this world. I'm sure you've been questioned before. Doesn't feel so great. Questioned is a sense of judgment that is trying to catch you out. The questions that I use are to poke holes in the bubble that's keeping you back, so that you can move up and out into that space of possibility, expansion, and creation. So it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. And as long as you remember that when you feel that fear, or that I don't know what's happening, or this is very unknown to me, I'm in an unknown world, that you just laugh, that you just, because nothing's going to happen. Don't worry about it, and keep that curiosity and let go of your sense of control. And you really do have, you just like open up a big space for things to be what they want to be. I think the Olympics are coming up, and I think of these Olympic gold medalists that have won many, many, many gold medals. Was that why they came, to win gold medals? No. The gold medals are only a symbol of them living their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And their purpose is to dive or to run or to skate or whatever, but their purpose was not to win gold medals. And once you start to get into this zone and trust yourself, you realize that it's the journey was completely different than you thought it would be. And it's again, this curiosity. If you can keep your mind curious, you'll just follow it, and it's fun and it's enlightening. It's really something.
I wanted to share a little story of something I watched the other day, just on what you just said, because obviously this person that I saw was not a client of mine, and yet she's living this. It was an 11-year-old little girl that was on the news, and she was on the news, gosh, because she won the spelling bee, right? And she was so cute, because she was laughing so hard about the last word. She was like, well, this was like just perfect that I won on this last word, because I have this memory watching this show, and it was all these like fun little memories of why she knew this word. But then the interviewer went on to say, but you're not just an amazing speller, you're also amazing in basketball and in dribbling. And she has three, and maybe she's 11, she might be a little bit older, 3 Guinness World Records, one of which she broke other people's records. And then Guinness actually came to her and said, what other world records would you like to start, right? Like, so she got to create her own. And she has all these where she's dribbling all these balls, she's doing it on a unicycle, blindfolded. Here is a girl who is here not just to do to break the barriers with spelling, but to break a lot of barriers, and to do it in a way that is just like, this is joy. And you get to the end of this interview, and the guy says, okay, so what are you going to do with your life? And she's like, I don't know. She goes, I could be a coach, I could be a neurophysicist, I could do gene mapping. And I was like, oh my gosh, here's somebody, like, our purpose is being us and breaking barriers, right? Like, she's here to break barriers with so much joy and exuberance. She could end up doing multiple things, right? She could be a gene mapper and then coach on the side. And we can do multiple things when we're in our own lane. And our own lane is being who we are. It's not a lane, it's our lane, which is pretty big. Again, going back to this place of 360 degrees spherical, we go in so many directions. And when we're being us, we transform things and we break barriers all the time. So I love the fact that you brought that up.
Well, I want to invite everybody to come to your talk on Friday afternoon. And also, Tara will be offering mini sessions. It's going to be a short list, so get on the list. You will not believe the process. You just really have to feel it. You have to experience it. She tried to explain it to me before I ever dipped my toe in, and I couldn't understand what she was saying to me. And so I finally said, forget it, let's just do it. And I said, oh, well, we have to do that again. That was just too good. so, so please do come to the Worldwide Metaphysical Tribe, our 8th year this year in Franklin Grove, Illinois. You can get all the information at internalwilderness.com under Worldwide Metaphysical Tribe, tickets, everything, a total explanation, the whole entire schedule, everything's there for you. And don't miss Tara's talk. Thanks, Tara.
Thank you so much, Deb.